Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This video is part of my series Learn Jazz Piano My Way with me, Ben. Today we're going to be building on my previous video, which was an introduction to walking bass. We're going to be talking about what to do next after we can do the things in that video. So if you haven't watched that video, I highly recommend you go and watch that first and then come back. And if you're already proficiently doing all that stuff, then this video is the place for you. Okay, brilliant. So by the end of last video, we discovered two feel, and walking bass. So today, we're going to be talking about what we can add in our right hand just to bring this up to the next level. Okay, so we're going to need to establish some independence between our left hand and our right hand. And there's many ways to do this, but a really good way would be to just be able to play the melody of a tune whilst you can play the bass. So let's just start with the same tune we discussed last video, Autumn Leaves. So we're starting with two feel. And now let's have a go at walking bass. So to start off with, if you can't already do this, we're going to have to just play the melody in its most basic form and take it really, really slowly. And we might even have to loop certain bits. So we could just loop the first phrase. So just loop it. Okay, we're starting to get that independence. Let's just keep going until it's solid. Okay, now let's go on. So if that's still quite challenging, we can strip it right back down to just sticking on the one bass note. So just playing one note per bar. So now, if you can do that stuff, let's have a go at doing a full walking bass whilst playing the melody. So we can keep it simple by just doing the exact same line for the whole thing, just to get that rhythm. And now more variation. Okay, so there we go. I jumped ahead quite a bit then, and I did a bit of improvisation on top of that. So with learning how to improvise on top of a walking bass, we're gonna have to start off quite formulaically. We're going to have to create patterns in our right hand that kind of sound like we're improvising, but we should probably just be sticking to something like an arpeggio. Do-do-do-dee, boo-ba-doo-dee. So just playing the arpeggio for each chord. Okay, and let's see if we can do that with a walking bass. Or just two feel. That's another variation. Here's another variation. Okay, and now we could do something like up and then back down. So now we're a little bit more comfortable with where the chords are going. Now we could start to add a rhythmic motif, for example. But let's just stick to the same collective of notes. So we're going to try and fit that rhythmic motif into every single chord whilst keeping a strong walking bass. Let's have a go at this passage. So we've got D minor and then G. So 1, 2, ba-do, be-ba. Walking, repeating, a bit faster. So the reason that we think about rhythm and notes separately is because they're two different parts of our brain that we're trying to deploy simultaneously. So it's not going to work if we just immediately just kind of throw all we've got at the walking bass and we just don't have the hand independence to do it. We're going to have to start with the rhythm and then with either the rhythm or the notes, but probably not together. So if, for example, you can do the rhythm whilst doing the walking bass of what we just talked about, but you can't really change the notes, then we need to think about how we can practice those notes. But what's much more common is you can do the notes, but you can't do the rhythm. So for that, we can just keep our hand in the exact same place and just play a C major scale over all of the walking bass line, just so we can get our fingers going down at the same time and feel really comfortable with the rhythm. So let's just go. So let's start with crotchets. And now let's lengthen that scale. Okay, so now we're starting to get that hand independence. We can play the melody, we can play some arpeggios, we can play some scales, but now we want some jazz language to be able to play over the walking bass. Well, luckily for you, I've got a video of major 251s, minor 251s, and major 3-6-2-5s, which all of the above fit into the tune Autumn Leaves. So if you've watched that video and you know some of those licks, let's have a go at putting one of those licks with the walking bass line. So let's look at this one. I've got that under exercise 1 on the website, and the video title on YouTube is Bill Evans Style 251 Lick, as you can see here. So we've got It's a really nice arpeggio style lick that outlines the changes. So let's have a go at putting that with the 2-feel bass. So there's 2 applications for this lick in the A section of Autumn Leaves. The first one is the major 2-5-1 into C major, and the second one is the minor 2-5-1 into A minor. So we just make sure that we're playing a flat 5 instead of a natural 5 for B minor 7 flat 5. So let's have a go at applying my arpeggio lick over both the applications in the A section of Autumn Leaves whilst doing 2-feel in our left hand. Second one coming up. So it should be quite easy because it's crotchets. Okay, now let's do that same thing with walking bass in the left hand. So both hands are going to be playing crotchets. Okay, now with a bit of filler in between. This is how I do it. So I'm starting off in its simplest form by just playing a lick with the walking bass, and then I'm adding some filler in between, and then I'm transferring the lick into maybe some different places. So we've reached the end of this video. We've discussed taking those walking bass ideas that we've learned and building in some hand independence by being able to play the melody and being able to start looking at improvising over a bass line in our right hand. And once again, thank you so much for watching. If you've got any questions, please put them in the comment. I know this video has been a little bit more challenging than the other one, but if you got to the end of this video, you're gonna love the next one. Thanks guys, see ya, bye.